You're listening to KTX Life, a podcast about health, wellness, and mindset, hosted by Nate Fancher and Kyle Flowers. This is episode 2.
All right, episode number 2, KTX Life. Thanks for tuning in. And we got cold. You can tell we got our jackets on because we got the bay doors open here at the gym here in Katy, Texas. Clink, one more clink. I'm drinking my coffee a lot faster than you.
Is it really that cold, or do you think we just haven't adapted yet?
Probably haven't adapted yet because
I feel really cold.
We're not in the sun either. I think if we were in the sun, it'd be different. The Texas sun is hot, and Houstonians are just not used to. My dad was like, in South Carolina, Dad talked to me. He's like, "Yeah, it's so nice here. Finally dropped. It's like 50 degrees." I'm like, "What? That's cold." Go Astros.
Go Astros.
Why aren't you? You didn't answer my question. You're not drinking your coffee as fast as I am. Why not?
I'm not.
You're enjoying it more.
I
than
really don't like chugging coffee. That's if I need to get to the point quick, then we do espresso shots.
I think I'm too hyperactive. I'm drinking it too fast, and I'm on cloud 9. Guys, let me go to my computer screen. There's this. Oh, sorry, I just bumped the mic.
I'm not. I ran out yesterday, actually.
So what is cloud 9?
Cloud 9.
Yeah.
It's brain fuel. It's essential. Essential brain fuel.
We are gonna have a whole episode committed to supplements and kind of the pros cons of supplements. But we're not going to get into that today. But guys, head over to ktxnutrition.store and you can, as we said in the last episode, the real deal, TRD, anti-inflammatory stuff, really good. Overall, how would you describe it? Anti-inflammatory, what else? The real deal.
Electrolytes.
It's good for hydration.
Yes.
Right?
Very good for hydration.
Yep.
Minerals. Lots of minerals.
So it'd be like you say these days, it's good to put a little squeeze of lemon and some salt in your water. You hear people say that to get the minerals.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
It's great.
It'd be something like that.
That's one of the cheapest, most effective things you can do.
Yep. Cool. In the last episode, we were talking about your story and how you were thinking, man, yeah, I'm jacked. People were giving you compliments. You're all big. You're like Mr. Stud. But you felt like dung.
Yeah. Well, I didn't realize that I did. I just did.
What do you mean you didn't? What do you mean you didn't realize you did?
So, I mean,
you were taking painkillers, so you didn't know, right?
Yeah, it's just like...
Tell us about the painkillers. You didn't say that in the last episode.
Sometimes, okay. Painkillers. Yeah, so they would give us 800 milligram ibuprofen anytime we asked from the corpsman. They were just big white ibuprofens. But I mean, if something more serious was going on, they would give you some more serious painkillers, or you could just find them. It's not like it's that hard to get that kind of stuff.
Right. But you were taking them even before you'd work out or something, I think.
Oh yeah, I would take 800 milligrams, either ibuprofen, Aleve, any of the non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs with my pre-workout or with an energy drink, I would do that like 30 minutes to an hour before I went to work out, just so I could like warm up and work out, because otherwise it would take me forever to warm up and get going, and some workouts would just hurt. It wouldn't even be about the movements I was doing. It would just hurt. And I did that for before every run, and sometimes after, and then before bed. So before bed, sometimes I wouldn't just take anti-inflammatory. I would need either a bunch of Tylenol or Tylenol mixed with Benadryl.
So you're just constantly on painkillers.
Terrible, yeah. And then I would wake up and I would squirt the allergy medicine through my nose so I could breathe. Sometimes
at some point, you're like, okay, this is not good. I keep having to do this every day.
Yeah.
So you had a light bulb moment at some point, right? Tell us about that.
Yeah, so that was... it was the last year that I tried to go individual and CrossFit for regionals and stuff. I was just in nagging pain, and I was like, man, I need some time off. Like, this just hurts. And I was like, this isn't worth it anymore. And I thought it was all to do with exercise. It didn't even cross my mind that it was the cheat meal that I would eat after. So
could it have, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but
no.
could it have had something to do with the exercise? I mean, because
Yeah,
your
of
body
course,
is
of
getting
course.
broken down.
I do not think,
fly.
and we could talk about the whole
Sorry.
health and longevity, fitness for health and longevity compared to fitness for competition and competitive athletes. It's a whole different, it's not even a gray area for the most part. It's like when you're beating your body that down in a competitive sport, that's not training for health and longevity. So you either have to love the competition and the sport you're doing, and you have to eat enough food to perform at that level. And it's not going to be the healthiest way to live life, but there's a way you can do it healthier and a lot better, a lot smarter than I was doing it. But it took me getting completely away from it and going to the complete other side of the spectrum to realize that. And then, but I mean, that's helped me coach people, and that's helped me coach Marissa through that so that she can train at that level. And it helped me grow to step away from that and go towards that health and longevity side of things.
Yeah.
I don't remember what the question was.
You know what? I don't either, actually. I can think about it. Hold on. What was it? What was the question, Taylor?
The moment that made me click.
Yeah, no, what was the light bulb moment? Yeah.
I always have those light bulb moments.
We had a lack of a light bulb moment just now. What is that?
Epiphanies, they're called, right?
A light bulb moment?
Yeah.
Yeah. That reminds me of the movie Hook with Robin Williams and Shmi. Remember that part? He's like, I've just had an apostrophe. He's like, I think you mean an epiphany. Lightning has just struck my brain. I love that part. Sorry.
That's awesome. I have no idea what you're talking about, but it's funny.
The movie Hook with Robin Williams and what's his name? Who played Dustin Hoffman? Yeah, thank you.
It's from like 30 years ago, right?
I'm not that old, dude. We're the same age. You're like 32. Oh gosh, we're not the same age.
Yeah,
but yeah. So you would have been a little kid when Hook came out.
I liked it, but I don't remember.
But either way, you just had an apostrophe, otherwise known as an epiphany. Everyone watching this who understands Hook will understand that part. Anyway, so the thing is like you've got people out there. Let's not even talk about CrossFit. I mean, because CrossFit is like obviously a whole culture. But let's talk about bodybuilders.
Yeah.
Or people who are just really into like physical fitness and working out, but they care so much about the image side.
Yeah.
And they have this idea. I was talking with someone who's really into that recently, and he was like, "Yeah, if I try to do the more healthy eating and all the stuff they teach you, I think I'm just going to look more like a skinny hippie." That's kind of his perspective. And so there's that perspective. Then you've got there's just a lot of different viewpoints, and I'm not sure what my question is here, but I think.
I mean, going to the skinny hippie thing, that makes sense. The first time I tried paleo while still doing because paleo is like this type of nutrition plan that CrossFit promotes.
That's right.
In their level 1 and stuff. And so I remember the first week or second week I was at the first CrossFit gym that I ever went to, Oceanside CrossFit. I know we're not supposed to be talking about CrossFit, but
we're not.
That's what you said.
Oh, I said that?
No, I'm just bringing up the first time that someone was like, "Oh, you should remove grains from your diet." In my head, I'm like, I was a runner growing up, so that was like all carbs, and then in the military, then trying to put on muscle was like all carbs, and I'm like, remove grains. I'm like, no rice? Like, what are you talking about? I understood the no bread because I was like, all right, I've heard that before.
Gluten.
No tortillas, yeah. But when I'm like, no rice, and like, I was like, this is weird.
Ridiculous.
No
corn? No beans, no peanuts, no dairy.
Yeah, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And so I lost weight quick, which my body's naturally, my family, that's just the way we're built. So I can lose weight instantly.
So were you doing like the Whole 30? You know what that is?
I do know what the Whole 30 is. Yeah.
My wife and I did the Whole 30.
Yeah.
And it was the same thing. I lost so much weight, and she was so mad at me. Yeah, it did not work for her.
So that's where macros do come into play.
Yeah.
And I think I'm not a huge fan of having people follow strict macros just because mentally I don't think it's exhausting for most people. But I think to use it as a guideline, and you can put on muscle with any meal plan, vegan, paleo, it doesn't really matter. You can put on muscle, you can lose body fat or gain, you can kind of play with whatever you want. That is the cool side of bodybuilding in general, is like you can build your body to do pretty much whatever you want if you're smart about it. And that's most people that start eating healthy and really eliminate just about everything that they were eating before, and they make a dramatic switch. You need to replace those calories somehow, and most people aren't eating enough. And especially if you remove all the grains in your life, like you have to find a way to manipulate your hormones post workout and stuff to put on muscle, or you're gonna lose some weight.
Yeah.
And so that's where having a coach or doing your research on health and performance and nutrition, that to make sure that you're hitting your goals. That's
yeah. Well, let's actually talk about CrossFit. I know I said maybe not, but I would like to talk about CrossFit. You brought up a good point that the paleo diet. Mm-hmm. This is something I've always wondered. I always used to associate paleo with well-informed people that know how to eat right.
Yeah.
That was kind of the way I looked at it. I read this book called It All Starts with Food.
Is it a Rob Wolf?
No, It All Starts with Food. I'm Googling it. It starts with food. It starts with food. Clear, balanced, sustainable plan to change the way you eat forever. They're the ones that came up with the Whole30.
Okay.
Anyway, really good book, and it totally convinced me about paleo. Here's the book here. Yep. So it's interesting. You mentioned the CrossFit, and then you said level 1 paleo.
Yeah, the level 1 is the CrossFit level 1. So it's a weekend course, and anyone can go do it. It's $1,000.
But they promote the paleo diet.
Yeah, they promote like the zone and then paleo style. So they don't say like go eat paleo, or from what I remember of it, I haven't done the level 1 in a long time. Mm-hmm. And then they zone or block eating.
Block eating. I remember that.
Which is basically like.
But we did the Whole30, which is paleo, mm-hmm. from that book. It All Starts with Food or whatever, and we, I kind of got really bought into the paleo diet, but then I sort of then associated, because I heard about the CrossFit thing, and I associated basically this generalization, which is a stupid thing to think about, but like all CrossFitters are therefore healthy because they know paleo, and that's kind of a culture that is more informed about food and diet and nutrition, mm-hmm. but that's not always the case. And you were talking about, we had a little technical glitch, but California, and kind of go back to that whole thing.
Yeah, so CrossFit started in California, Greg Glassman, and he had the CrossFit Journal, and the journal's still available, and so are a lot of the old posts, maybe all of them.
Hey, I'm at the website right here, CrossFit.com. Is it on here?
Yeah, you should be. You have to subscribe to the journal. I can send you the.
Oh, you don't have to send it to me. I mean, I'm just thinking if people want to know.
So you can log in.
Yeah.
But yeah, they have their workouts on there, and then blogs, and they post recipes, modifications for movements, and so at the level 1, they teach about zone eating and mm-hmm. and then promote that grain free. I mean, it's part of CrossFit's prescription, and that's what a lot of people don't even realize, is say, eat meat, vegetables, nuts, seeds, some fruit, little starch, and no sugar. That's part of the CrossFit methodology. And so it really bothers me, these new affiliate models don't even talk about nutrition. A lot of people just open gyms and put the name CrossFit on it and go to level 1, and they realize they can make some money, or they like lifting weights, or they like the CrossFit fitness side of it, that they don't take into account the whole health side of it and the whole nutrition protocol behind it. And then people, it gives it's really frustrating.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm scrolling through their site right now on the health tab, and CrossFit Health is an investigation into the ills of modern medicine and the willful abuse of the public's trust in science.
Dude, that's all new. The CrossFit Health side is awesome. So,
Yeah.
So the CrossFit Games got the sport of fitness on the map, and it kind of is one of the reasons CrossFit got so popular is, Rich Froning and the CrossFit Games and all these athletes, and people saw it on ESPN, and they're like, man, this is crazy. And the competition side of it is one of the reasons that I loved it so much. But, that's not CrossFit. It's not CrossFit.
So they have a whole – so that's – are you saying that is what that really put CrossFit on the map is the whole sports side?
Yeah, CrossFit as a sport, and then the community side. So
yeah, it's definitely a community side to it.
People are seeing past, especially because CrossFit as a sport, and it's happened to us too because we were more competitive style gym at first. And CrossFit as a sport, the training methodology behind that, if you look at the way Coach Glassman says, this is how you should program for health, for CrossFit. And it's 3 days on, 1 day off, 2 days on, 1 day off, or similar like that.
Okay.
And it might be lifting one day, the next day might be all stretching, dynamic movement, and the next day might have some gymnastics. And there's a protocol. It's mix 2 modalities or 3, then go back to 1. And you look at a typical week on any CrossFit gym, no one's gonna want to come in the gym and just do 5 sets of Turkish get-ups and then go home.
Turkish get-ups?
Yeah, Turkish get-up is a full body, very technical.
Turkish?
Turkish get-up. Yeah, you can look it up, your YouTube videos.
Here we go.
A full body movement, phenomenal. You could do it with weight, you could do it with just body weight. But either way, you're getting, flexibility, balance, coordination, and you can build a lot of strength and power with it even as well. But say that would be a good warm-up in a gym, and then people would be like, oh, well, let's do the CrossFit workout, and people think of just this high-intensity interval training workout. Mm-hmm. But when you look at a month goes by, that's not how CrossFit recommends that you train. So it would really be 1 or 2 days a week of probably some intervals, and then a couple days of strength training, and then a couple days of rest, and then they want you to be outside and active and doing sports and doing as many different activities as you can. Mm-hmm. And so same thing on the nutrition. When you start going at that sports side of it and training all out every single day, it's your nervous system, your tendons, ligaments, muscles, they don't recover properly. So then people are eating those high inflammatory diets. They're not recovering properly. So it's just a big
So in the beginning of CrossFit, the culture was more, for lack of a better way to say it, and this might sound pretty, I don't know how it sounds, but more pure maybe?
Yes.
And then
absolutely.
And it's definitely sort of become just a more of a mixture of
hit or miss,
different beliefs, different types of whatever.
Yeah, a lot of the and people try to push for it. A lot of the traditional fitness beliefs creep into gyms, and then people want you to do this and try that. It's that's what CrossFit was getting away from and what made it so popular. And now you see CrossFit into all these fitness realms, and you see them doing CrossFit workouts, and I don't know, it's fun. I don't know. We could ramble on that about for hours.
Well, and I definitely feel we've talked about this. The supplements that KTX nutrition is all about is really trying to help athletes, people who are really active. I mean, it's going to help anybody, but especially those who really need to have that recovery, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I just got fed up with artificial sweeteners, all these preservatives, artificial flavorings, and they're just targeting athletes, targeting young bodybuilders. Really, a lot of them are targeting the 15 to under 30 crowd that are trying to be healthy, and most of them, a lot of them want to just look good. But for the athletic side, college athletes, high school athletes, competitive athletes of any type, they don't realize how many chemicals they're guzzling down with these nutritional products and how synthetic most of them are, and just no lack of science. or so much lack of science behind them. They're just putting key like mainstream buzzword products in there, slapping a fancy label on it. Then people are paying $50 to $100 to poison themselves. It's
interesting. Now we're going to get into all the supplement stuff at some point. Actually, that's going to be our episode 4. But I'd like to end this by just kind of coming back to like the idea that we live in a society, in a culture where mainstream ideas that are popular, they're just going to creep into every area, and you got to kind of fight against that.
Yes.
How do we end right now by ending this particular episode? How do you what's the word? Fight against that sort of thing, because it's just going to happen when people. It's just popularity, right? Like Gatorade is just popular. Gatorade is a massive corporation or a brand owned by some corporation.
That's so. How do you fight Gatorade?
Yeah, how do you fight Gatorade, man? How do you do a roundhouse kick to the Gatorade face?
Man,
how do you do that? How do you take that on, man? No, the idea of like, because. Okay, we could spend a lot of time, and we're going to talk about some pretty obscure things, like the whole environmental side of things, water, all the electronic stuff. I mean, the fact that we've got the blue light right here coming in. It's daytime, so it's okay.
So that's what you'll find out about me, Nate, is that right now you've pushed some buttons, and I'm extremely passionate.
I know you are.
So that's what you'll find.
We're gonna get there.
I'm revved up.
You're ready. So we got, and that means hold on. I'm gonna allow for this to go on a little longer.
But yeah,
how do you fight against all that?
I've hit rock bottom, like getting all revved up and then trying to go too big, too fast, and then kind of hit rock bottom, like, man, this isn't even working, and then made a lot of people mad, and so I took a lot of steps back, and I realized it does start with your group or your community. So rather than like going too far too fast, I'm like, all right, well, I need to invest this time and energy into people that are coming to this gym, part of my community. And so it's just about knowledge, not stopping. So always seeking knowledge, always trying to provide truth and honesty to your clients. That's for any gym owner or coach. And then just always being able to think outside the box or keep an open mind, because that science is always changing and what we know to be true. There's no absolute truth to nutrition or health. We're always learning more, and the body's always evolving. So I think it's important to always seek knowledge and not think that you know everything.
That's good. That's
and then
really good.
Provide honest. I ask a lot of questions is the best way, because you'll learn a lot from people's common denominators. Like, 3 people all got the flu or this stomach bug the last week. Well, like, well, were you out drinking that weekend? Like, or did you, I don't know, just any kind of lifestyle questions you can ask them, and just being curious, not like,
but you can come across as you can come across as a pretty,
Yeah, there's definitely a fine line and a boundary, but that's about establishing those relationships and being, upfront and honest, and like, and they trust you, so they'll talk to you and you talk back, and it's about.
And that's the hope that we have had to start this podcast, is just to help spread the message that you have, and to at least start a conversation. Yeah. And
because a lot of that can get, especially in the writings. I like to blog and write, and so talking like this is a little out of my comfort zone, but that's good. But like, sometimes writing and text can get taken the wrong way, especially humor or like sarcasm or and so it's good for people to hear it, that not like that judgmental as some of the posts may seem, stuff like that.
That's the second time I put another timer on here, and it's time to wrap it up.
All right, let's wrap it up.
Let's go to episode 3.
Boom.
All right, episode 2 in the can, guys. Head over to KTXnutrition.store. You can check out TRD and the other supplements there, as we'll continue to talk about all this and what makes this line of supplements unique and different. And that's how this podcast is monetized. We're going to try not to run too many ads for Gatorade, right? So let's move on to the next episode. You guys, thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you in the next episode.